You, what the fuck?
We're live, by the way. Good
I'm singing
morning.
along.
Welcome into another episode of Good Morning NASDAQ. Joined today by my good friend, Mr. Michael Hudson, and special guest, Mr.
Jack.
Jack Schwartz. There he is. Look at that beautiful face. Oh my gosh, have we have missed him? Former Clover teammate and forever friend. We're so happy and blessed to be joined by him this morning. Welcome into another episode. It is the 8th day of February, and things have turned from 0 to 11 real quick. We got stocks like Holo going thousands of percents. We got stocks like HKIT and WIMI and Bets and CCTG. All these other stocks are running with it. So we'll see where that momentum takes us today. We couldn't have asked for a better day to have Mr. Schwartzy on, because I'm sure he'll have some insight as to what's going on with all of this. So I welcome him in right now. How you doing, Mr. Jack?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just letting the little butterflies in my stomach simmer a bit
You're
because
nervous.
yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is with stuff like HOLO, it is it going to have a red day? Probably, but probably doesn't mean it will. And that being said, the volatility is just so extreme that you can't go in there risking $2 a share. You got to go in there risking almost 20,
15.
25%,
Yeah.
which is going to be like $8, $10 a share there if you're shorting, or even if you're longing, for example. And yeah, I mean, these things are just so liquid and so volatile that, if it collapses 50%, it's not, the tape isn't confirming some sort of a liquidation. It's probably going to be a good buy rather than a good short when if it tanks 50%.
It's going to be interesting to see. We'll love to hear more of your opinions. That's pretty much all we're going to talk about this morning, because that's the gappers. We got HKIT, CCTG, SXTC, BATS, MLGO. A lot of these slimy Chinese tickers, recent destruction plays, ones that just kind of popped up late day and after hours off the Holo momentum. Not the first time we've seen anything like this. And even the more you see it, I feel like more ideas flow into your head of what could happen on day two. So we'll talk about all that. If you have any questions, get them over in the Clover Trading YouTube chat. We'd be happy to get to them when we're done with all of the tickers. Huddy is here as well. It is 8:48 p.m. there in Thailand. So we're happy to have the three-headed monster here, a Huddy, a Dom, and a Jack. As you guys tune in, make sure that you are hitting that thumbs up button. We do prefer to have a 2-to-1 ratio from viewers to likers. But if there's a world where all of you could be likers, we like to envision that world as well. So don't be afraid to hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed right here to the channel. We had 2 streams yesterday from live trading where Kyle was shorting Holo, telling you all that there was a lot of red flags. We had Wine Wednesday last night where we discussed a lot of this. Now we're going to talk about all of these on day 2 as well. And another side note, I know Schwartz isn't completely a part of Clover in terms of the mentorship, but he has been tearing it up in the chat. So if you want more access to Schwartz, he is in there every morning, talking the pre-market, doing his thing, getting in, getting out, trading from his phone probably, letting his cats click some buttons. But we do have a 7-day, $7 trial. So if you want to get in there, get access to him, get access to us. I got a webinar today at 11. We're jam-packed, high top, the studio here in Michigan. Let's get into it. So let's start with the main play, Mr. HOLO. First, I'd like to ask Huddy, do these trades, all of these are gapping what in the range of 60 to 500% today when we look at the whole basket of them. Are they all fitting the criteria for Huddy's gap strategy?
Oh, why do you phrase it like that? Yeah, I mean, he knows it better than I do at this point. Today's a day where, Huddy either blows up or he doesn't blow up. Unfortunately, they pretty much all fit my strategy. And that means I have to take 1, 2, 3, not all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 yeses and 2 maybes. So maybe 7. And then honestly, the other 4 might actually pick back up and meet it as well. We still have 45 minutes. I hope they don't. Yeah, unfortunately, I set out in December to kind of conquer this day one gap and crap strategy. I don't have all of the minutia like ironed out. I do use small size when I short these things. I did lose 3K on HK on Holo yesterday. It did fit. Um, and this is just like probably the scariest environment I could kind of walk into because so I've been doing this since December. It's been profitable. I made a good amount of money. Today is a day where if it all does exactly what Holo did yesterday, I will lose all of my January. And if it doesn't do that, then I could make my February. And that's kind of like the problem. Like the day one gap and crap strategies, a lot of them are 1-to-1 risk reward. So that's why January is at risk. When you have 7 or 8 in one day, it pretty much neglects the 7 to 8, good trades that you had from the previous month. So that's kind of the decision I'm faced with. And what's nice is like coming into the day, I know how much I'm going to lose. It's a big number. It's a terrifying number. I don't want to lose it. But at the same time, I'm just, I kind of set out this journey. I told myself I'd do this until March and then assess the results. Like that's what I said to myself December 1st. So today is going to be kind of the day that really confirms whether I really want to be doing this or not. I can tell you guys so far, I have not been having fun doing it. I mean, there are certain days that are fun, but overall, it just feels like less of an art and more of a science. And I do believe I like the art form of trading. Like it's more enjoyable
I mean,
to trade
Huddy
in
is
art.
known to be walking around in a white denim jacket and white jeans with paint splatter on them. If he's anything, he's an artist.
Okay, I was gonna say, what's your point? But I hear you. Yeah, I'm eccentric from time to time, and so yeah, I like to paint a chart. I like to make a chart look cute. And this whole like day one gap and crap type stuff, it hasn't been cute so far. It's just kind of mundane and boring to me. And it's been printing. It's been nice. Um, and today we get to find out if it's actually nice because all that can be reversed in one day, which is what I've kind of been telling Clover since the beginning. Like, it's great, it's great, it's great, been profitable, but I know that a day like this is coming or a spree like this is coming. And with any system strategy, like I think the hardest part and the reason that the edge doesn't erode for, a fancy word that's been thrown around Twitter lately. I think the reason that the edge doesn't erode on these is because most people aren't willing to sit through the drawdowns. Most people aren't willing to experience the black swans, 7 or 8 losses in a row, which in the moment is terrifying because a lot of them, require a wide risk. So, once you get to that point, like a lot of people aren't willing to do it, and that's why the strategy is like not widely talked about, I think, in most chat rooms. Like, so we'll see. Today I'm my hand is forced. I have no, and so it'll. I'm running into words, but I'm terrified of it. I'm gonna do it like it's rinse, wash, repeat, and I will face the consequences. And I just hope my stops trigger when when it comes.
Well, so it is 8:54 p.m. Huddy time. So the
Oh, I'll
Super
short them and then go to
Bowl
bed.
Super Bowl's on Sunday, and Huddy's Super Bowl is today, and he'll probably be sleeping through most of it.
Yeah, yeah, I don't want to watch it. I think best case right now is set it and forget it. The only problem with doing that is like I do think there's a world where it is obviously as scared as I am because it's a lot of dollar risk. There's a world where it works. Let's not forget about that. Like I know it's hard to imagine. It really is hard to imagine, especially after Holo yesterday. Uh, it's hard to imagine a world where all these come down, but you have to understand like what are these stocks? I mean, Chinese stocks have been the most manipulated stock, grouping of stocks since the 1860s. Like it's like literally back tested. Um, so it's hard to imagine that they're not going to try to manipulate them higher, but at the same time, like so many of these are extended that there's also a world where they're high enough for anyone to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish, whether that's what are the market MVPHS, getting your closing price to a high enough price that unlocks further financing options, whether it's being in the money with dilution. Like a lot of these goals will have been met just by pre-market opening price. So as much as I want to believe that they're going to want to manipulate it higher, if they have no intention to manipulate it higher, they won't, because why spend that money? Now that has nothing to say about what retail is going to do or what stupid hedge fund's going to do or the breadth of Chinese stocks right now, which is kind of like a risk-on environment ever since Chinese banned short selling on their stocks. Like, it's not just small cap. There are a bunch of Chinese stocks that have been on my scanner all week. So, to some extent, this is kind of predictable. So those are all the thoughts going through my head, and I'm trying to just, mute them all and follow the data. And again, it's terrifying, and I'm sweating out of places I don't like to sweat out of. And someone else talk.
Sounds fun. Sounds fun. All right, we'll bring in Mr. Schwartzy here.
Yeah.
After hearing all that.
Well, the first thing I want to say is I got to get something off my chest with this HOLO, because yesterday in pre-market, I mean, I was shorting in pre-market. I had like very small loss on it, but I was laughing hysterically because of the headline they were running. Micro Cloud Hologram says it is planning to join the Communications Industry Association.
Okay, sounds good.
I mean, dude, it just says they're planning to join. I'm like, what is that even? Whatever, man. All right, but I'm pretty relaxed. I'm just more waiting to just feel things out. With HOLL, I just want to see it do its thing, play off the open. I mean, I think that in a time like this, a lot of it is going to be freestyle trades, as I like to call them. It's like, yeah, you can have a sort of an idea of what to expect from the stock. Maybe it pushes up at the open and, it has a lower close by the end of the day.
That'd be great.
But there's, that's two things. There's a whole middle area, right? And that's kind of what I want to see play out. I want to see levels form themselves off open. I want to see consolidations form. Maybe it squeezes, consolidates, and then I can look for a breakdown in it. Or maybe it just tanks into 26, holds, and then there's a squeeze off in the first 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
it's tough.
Yeah, but I also don't have to put any money on the line if there's nothing that I really, really love. If I don't have like a tight risk reward or something, I don't have to spend any money because this stock is not going to disappear tomorrow. It's not going to disappear next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even though they're failing to meet listing requirements with the NASDAQ. They don't just disappear. Well, they can't disappear, but it's probably not going to disappear. HKIT, it has a suspicious amount of volume, just like HOLO. But what a lot of people like to do is they see HOLO and they assume that the next one is probably going to fail, and more times than not, they are right. But same sort of thought process there. Like if everything's gung-ho off the open because everybody wants the home run day, then hands off and let it just prove itself. Like if the stocks are going down, there's going to be bounces on the way down, and that's what I'm going to feel much more comfortable taking in my portfolio, just taking it short. I'm not looking to long because they're so far extended that I don't know. If I go long, it's not going to be a long trade. The long trade was yesterday on HOLO. You could have bought at any price and not even have had a single gut check as long as you're risking like 15%.
Yeah, going into this morning, I almost prefer Huddy style of you know exactly what you're going to do. It's based off statistics. You have your risk level, and if you're going to take a loss, it's one loss.
Yeah.
And the problem with the day two like this on Holo, when you've already had a move from the 2s to 50 in one day, is then we fade off and we open in this 28 to 38 range. We're so far off after our highs. We're so far green that we're in this world where we are still very overextended, but we're also mid-range on what today could offer. Like there is a world where we don't break below 25 or break above 45. And that means if your idea is big picture, I'm going to risk $15 a share to make 30 or 40, to the long side, and to the short side, risk 15 to make 15 or 20. You might not get either one of those. And that's what's always kind of tricky going into it, is which plan do you kind of go with? And that's why I kind of am more on the side of the fence of kind of what Schwartz was saying, of just patience. Let some levels develop. If we spike right out of the gate, set a level short of 50 in real open market hours where there is millions of volume trading at those levels, and we hard crack off of that, and there's something to play off of. And if I go into today thinking I want to take a loss, I want to be in the game, I'd rather wait till I can put a stop in at a certain level. And I don't want it to be 50 where it's an after hours level set on just some shorts covering into pure panic. I'd rather it be a real level that people have traded around. And then the longer, you get into these trades, the more likely you are to be on the right side in terms of the plan for this stock, which is not to probably be a $30 stock for the rest of its time. And the longer you wait, the more likely you are to be a part of that bigger move down. I also don't look at any of these from a long perspective today. I think the long perspective was pretty obvious in hindsight, but it's the way they always work, right? Stock go up thousands of percent. Step one. Step two, stocks that are doing decent volume on similar themes, similar names, similar industries, similar price range, similar float, similar country of origin. They get going after hours. And kind of what Schwartz was just saying there, everyone kind of expects the next one to fail. So generally what you see is the head of the snake do thousands of percent and then kind of chop around. The secondary, I don't know, the neck, we'll call it, gets going a little more. There is some short stuck in that one, but it's not to the degree, instead of going thousands of percent, that one goes 500%. And then, you got your MLGOs, you have your WIMIs. And these ones, they have decent moves, 80 to 100%. But people have learned their lesson. They're not just shorting anything in the theme anymore. And so those moves start to work a little better. But the problem with those is the range isn't as good as making $30 a share to the downside. You might have to risk 10 cents a share on WIMI to make 20 or 30. And those become your more normal trades. I think a lot of traders tend to go towards those, the body of the snake, because once holo is confirmed, let's say they do liquidate today, and it is an MLGO 2.0 situation, it's very hard to imagine that any of these are holding up. And so that's a strategy as well. But I think the main thing is patience until you have an edge. And, and you can at least give me some sort of scenario that makes sense for you. But going into these blind today and just saying, I think everyone's going to get squeezed long out of the gate. I think these are all going to die short out of the gate. Not Huddy strategy that's based off science, but just emotions and not really having risk levels or sticking to them. You're most likely going to get caught in the chop because no matter what the end goal is for holo, there's probably still some fakes to be had. And yeah, I have no interest in being part of those fakes. If I'm going to lose, I want to know my risk level. I want to know my stop point. I want to know I'm not going to touch it again when I lose. So that's kind of my thing, is let others pay for the information, sit back and wait. Are you guys DMing about me or something? Oh, is he putting in? He's posting in chat.
No, I just made like the quickest trade ever.
You're buying stuff and selling stuff?
Yeah, I bought SYRA, just blasted it at 2.5 and got out at 3.5 and 4.
So dude, nice welcome, Huddy, another gapper. 9 a.m. It's up 300%.
No.
It's funny how things can change because, the last week, Good Morning NASDAQ, we've been talking about how there's just no real gappers. Huddy's been taking it easy. And then you take a look at this scanner and, it's just funny that you got a list with a 492, 203, 139, 127, 150, 43. And this is what dreams are made of. They're what?
What was the stock that just blasted?
SYRA.
Oh, sickening.
Dude, honestly, don't even bother with that one.
Of course I'm going to. I can't.
SYRA is a U.S. company, 2 million float. Did they put news out 4 minutes ago? They're announcing a partnership for a federal contract valued at $75 billion.
Are they Chinese?
Wait, whoa. Wait, 75 billion.
Billion.
Wait, that's more money than I have.
I see worth approximately 250,000.
I'm just reading the PR, Jimbo.
What?
Jimbo.
I see 250K.
It says the prime contract in support of this multi-billion-dollar federal influx care facilities contract.
Is it Chinese? Because if it is, then
Apparently it's U.S.
Is it really?
Apparently.
I'll tell you what.
Then part 3 is regular companies with low floats start to PR and play off the momentum.
Low,
The Illusion Tracker had Holo listed as a U.S. company in the morning yesterday, and then by close it was Chinese. I thought that was rude.
Sometimes they can switch up like that. Country of origin. It's kind of dual citizenship type of thing.
I thought that was rude. I was like, hey guys, let's be on top of our stuff.
Oh, dude, I should not have sold. It could be a 3-bagger already.
A 3-bagger?
In 3 minutes. 100% a minute. Imagine that.
I'm going to have a 6-bagger today.
6-bag loss?
Yeah, 6-bagger
I don't think all of them lose.
You don't think?
No.
It'd be really weird if they did. but I'm ready for it.
I hope
I
you
think.
are.
Oh,
I think Huddy's gonna have a great day.
I think so too.
I think Huddy's not going to watch the market once he enters his position. And trade.
I think that's the best way to do it is to go maybe have a nightcap, go to sleep, and see what 4 a.m. brings.
Yeah, set the alarms and the crazy thing is what if the stop loss?
You can
doesn't
visually
trigger?
see the stress.
I'm visually stressed. I'm not visually. I'm what is it? Literally, physically.
Physically,
I'm gonna throw
actually, multiculturally.
Multiculturally, I'm gonna throw up because I don't even like the strategy. It's not been fun.
You've been doing it for months.
I've been doing it for months. So today is either, make or break for me. Either want to keep doing this or days like this are just like not worth it. But you know what? Sometimes you got to lose. I think Taylor Swift wrote about this once. Sometimes you got to lose to find out you love or something like that. You got to losses can be good. That's what I'm going to focus on here.
Not
Selena
remembering the
Gomez?
lyric.
Lose yourself to find me.
I think that's Selena Gomez.
I don't know.
I
Lose
think
you to
got
love
it,
me.
Jack.
Lose you to
Yeah.
love me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Are people actually watching this stream? I hope not.
All right.
So
Any
good.
questions on tickers? Anything that you guys plan on doing today? Yes, we will always quote Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is the greatest of all time. I have can't even reach him because my headphones, but I have my records right here. My records. There's Lover. This is Fearless. All my Taylor Swift records.
Got those bad boys on vinyl.
I saw her in concert last year. It was the greatest day of my life. I saw her on a Friday night, and every Friday that happens, I turn to my wife and I go, "You know what we were doing a lot of Fridays ago? Having the best day of our life."
True.
Because she's the greatest. Oh. And Red Candle says their watch list is Lay's. Lay's potato chips, not really. Seal Core. KPTI. There's so many stocks right now. My kind of advice that is not financial advice is do you. If there was ever a time in the market to get in where you fit in and make some memories, then now is the time. These are not the days to go outside your system. If you've been, someone like me, I've really tried to focus on restarting in December of just like my journey, just going back and learning risk management again, because that's what seemed to have gotten out of control on days like today, where if it was a great day, you made a lot of money. If it was a bad day, you are really questioning life. And I don't want to do that anymore. So I'd rather sit and miss all of this so far in these plays. And then maybe, it's a really obvious moment on Holo where it's over and there's still $10 or $15 a share to take from it. Or maybe these have multiple red days and there's a first green day bounce on them. Like Schwartz said, they're probably not going to be dead for the next 3 or 4 days. There will be a moment. And the moment isn't always every moment of all day to be trading these things. Have a strategy, stick to your system, whatever that is. Like, just because there's stuff moving, there's 500% runners, 1,000% runners, and everyone in every chat room is talking about these stocks, and they're only showing you the ones that people who bought it at 4 and sold it at 40. They're not showing you all the people who shorted it at 4 and covered at 10, or shorted it at 30 and covered at 40, or all the horrible losses that go along with it.
Twitter's been so annoying the past day and a half.
What? Because if you're not up a million, you're a loser.
Oh, look, I called this, check out my entry. Okay, great, dude. Repeat that 10,000 times. Like, you have no edge.
Dude, anybody who was commenting on HOLO on Twitter past 11 a.m. Eastern yesterday, I just blocked them. I'm like, you guys are all just hindsight commenting.
I don't know. For me, the only buy that was on Holo, and again, just because I'm maybe egotistical in this moment, but the buy was 550. Triple top, exact same price range as MLGO. Could not be if you're gonna take anything from the past and apply it to the future, that is the only buy. It's not predicting that this is gonna be the next 2,000% runner in the freaking pre-market when it's at $2. You don't know that. But when it's actually doing the thing in between 5 and 550, you have an inclination of knowing that this is very similar to something we've seen in the past. And that is the only moment. And then maybe towards close. you could have like loaded up because you knew everyone was effed.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
but like so many people just posting on literally what Twitter is. What you guys have to understand is Twitter is like a giant marketing machine, right? Everyone's just trying to talk about the hot ticker and say that, you know, this I was talking about it and I was there and, you know, made money and, you know, come join. Like that's Twitter.
Yeah.
I
Everybody's
was-
just stroking their ego. It's like, oh God, it's such a cesspool, man. I wish I could post on Twitter still, but I just won't be back until the next COVID market or something.
You got banned.
I'm
political
banning myself
comments?
because like I'll pull out all my hair.
Yeah, I was the one, and I'll always be the Debbie Downer because I believe in keeping people safe. In my room, I said yesterday at like 2 o'clock, I said, this is your friendly reminder that none of you, or at least 99% of you, don't have an edge on Holo right now.
Mhm.
And I will stand by that. I'll stick by that. I don't care how many tens of dollars you made on 10 shares. If you were messing around with it, you were just gambling on an idea that was a gut feeling. And until you have the stones to take that type of trade with conviction and massive size and actually stick to a risk level, we're all just bantering. It's just fun talk, like you see on Twitter.
One of the craziest things I saw on Twitter yesterday or today, this morning, I don't know what day it is, was someone was like, you know, just like the guru teaches, like one trade can make your year. And I'm like, aren't we supposed to like refrain from the home run mentality? Like,
Yeah.
Isn't that exactly what we're not supposed to do? Like, of course, there's going to be a batch of stocks that are going to perform better than the rest of your 80%, like the 20 to 80 rule. But one trade to make your year, isn't literally that called a lottery ticket or a home run ticket? Like, you're supposed to get reps. You're supposed to have practice. You're supposed to rinse, wash, repeat, follow some kind of strategy. And like all of a sudden, like you're just YOLOing something to make your year. Like,
And then the home run
it
is
was
supposed to be a
retweeted.
normal trade that just surprises you because the market works in your favor, like a little extra that time, you know?
Yep. That's the fun thing about the market. I just think it's so funny and I said this on one Wednesday. Days like yesterday when people have the least amount of edge is the day the chat rooms are the most popping, just because the movers are so insane and people get so excited. But it's like, why doesn't it excite you when a stock has a beautiful first red day after 3 green days, or a beautiful breakout on like DWAC and fun?
You see no one posting about DWAC or fun, which were like arguably really good setups in January, whether it's the breakout or the first red day. And like no one, because people aren't looking for that. Like we're the novice traders, like we're noobs. Like they're trying to buy Holo. They're trying to do a 2000% game because that's what they think the game is about. So like they know to like start posting about that and like tagging the ticker to like get you to like follow them. It's a crazy world. I like half the time I want to mute Twitter.
Oh, all right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up this morning. It was jam-packed. We had Mr. Schwartzy involved. I know he probably wants to get back to start looking at some of these. I know you guys, I don't want to take up all your time. I want you guys to be prepared for the open. There is lots of movement out there.
I swear I'm tan right now. It's just there's a light.
Dude, you look like if we had... I don't even know what it is, but it's like a movie or something. Right, you're coming out of the sun or something. It's like, my name is Huddy.
Bro. Well, I broke my ring light, so I actually have this spotlight, and if I look at it, everything turns black. It's terrible. So, anyways, you were saying something. Sorry.
Yeah, just gonna close her out. Want to thank Jack for being here. You have an open invitation whenever you want to join. We are more than happy to have you. I'm sure everyone in there. Can everyone comment in the YouTube chat? Thank you, Jack. We appreciate and love having him around so much, and thank you for your participation in the room as a vice captain. Your knowledge is very valuable, and we're so grateful for you.
I love to hear it.
Yes. What? You're allowed to
love to hear it, and thank you for letting me stick around and hang out with everybody. Seriously, there's no other place I'd rather be.
We love it. And if you want to get in there, talk to Schwartz. He's more than happy to answer your questions. He doesn't have to, but he always is. 7 days, $7 trial. Get yourself over in the room. Decide if it's something you want to be a part of. We're a growing community, and I have a webinar today at 11 o'clock. We have a live trading webinar tomorrow, Friday. So if you get access today, you will have access for 7 days. You will see both of those. All of our archived webinars, video lessons, watch list, trade alerts, the room, all that good shebang. And it is a great looking man, Mr. Jack, one of the greatest jawlines of our century. Thank you all for being here today. We'll see you first thing tomorrow to wrap up this crazy week, 8:45 a.m. right here in the Good Morning NASDAQ Clover Trading YouTube channel. So we'll see you guys in the morning. We'll see all you 3 and 4 leaf clovers in the room, and let's have a wonderful and a wonderfully safe day. Bye now.